Is there a universe outside of Bravo?
Did we miss the training manual to our 30s?
No. Are they for real?
Thank God for our girlfriends. Hi guys, and welcome back to Structured Chaos with Kelly and Kyra. We hope that you had a really great week and you're ready to laugh about how none of us have it figured out. We got your feedback. We appreciate your feedback. We feel the same way too. Here's the thing about us. Bravo consumes our lives. Reality TV consumes our lives. So we can talk about it forever. But also there's so much more to us that I know you guys want to hear and that we want to share, because that's what the point of us coming up with this podcast was. So we will definitely still be recapping things, but kind of maybe only the major things, and then inserting personal stories as well that correlate with what we're talking about. So yeah.
I feel like, just to echo what Kyra said, we're still going to be talking about Bravo, reality shows. Obviously, we love them. That is not going anywhere. So if that's what you're here for, do not worry. We're still watching them. We're still talking about them. We're still obsessed with them. But we are also going to be talking more about our personal lives, because those are just...
That's exciting too.
Yes. I mean, there's always a lot of chaos going on around us, and
yes,
it's entertaining, so we are told. So we want to talk about all kinds of things that could be relatable to you, and we want to hear your stories, and keep giving us the feedback, because we want to know what you want to hear about. And we just love hearing feedback, whether it's good or bad. We want to know what you're thinking, so let us know in our DMs and our comments, whatever it may be. Thank you for listening and bearing with us. We're learning every week, so we hope you're enjoying what you're hearing, and let's get right into it. So, Kyra, how did your past week/weekend go?
my week was really good. I'm trying to think. I don't think I honestly did anything super exciting. I'm dog sitting right now for my friend Carly, which it's just so funny because Carly and I have known each other for, gosh, I can't even 10 years probably now, 9 years. And we work out together all the time. We talk frequently. We never see each other. So it's so ironic that I'm staying in her place right now, of course, and she's not there. We just never see each other. So it's just so funny. But her dogs are so sweet. I love them. And she's
Aw.
right by the beach. So I'm must be nice to be able to walk to the beach every day.
Yeah, that's prime dog sitting, or house sitting, or anything, when they have a nice location and you're it's a little vacation, staycation
Literally.
for you.
Totally.
Yeah.
So that's, and we had fun. We had a really great business meeting on Saturday, and it was so funny. So Kelly and I, we go get coffee, and we literally just have a monologue. We had a 12-minute monologue. After we sat down, we just going. And then I was so that's a little bit about us.
That's just, that is kind of how the podcast came about, because that's just how we roll. And it just flows out of us. Even though we talk every single day for the majority of our day, we still have more to talk about. And, I love that for us. So
I do too.
I never run out of things to say. And I still have lots of notes and lists of things for us to talk about. But yeah, we had a great coffee date, and business meeting, coffee date, talked about all kinds of things we needed to talk about for the podcast, feeling great about some things we're switching up, some ideas for the future. Anyone who knows me knows that I am just a little bit of a stress case, because I'm a perfectionist. So I just get overwhelmed completely by myself. meaning like I overwhelmed myself just with
Mhm.
all the things in my own head. So we talked through a bunch of stuff. And so that was amazing. We had fun, lots of laughing as usual. Um, and yeah, my dad came to town this weekend, so he's here now, which is exciting. Love having my family here. And I'm doing like a big clean out / organization project in my house. I'm kind of just feeling like a major reset, which I've been working on for the past like week or so. So
Clearing out all the bad juju, and we're just
exactly.
like freshening up her place.
Yes. So it feels good. It's like a mental reset and my physical space. Um, so yeah, I'm getting like new decor. I ordered a new bed
Not where I thought
coming.
you were going with that statement.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 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 decor, like home decor,
Mhm. Mhm.
And I ordered a new bed. It's just we're doing a whole refresh, and yeah, it feels good just to kind of refresh everything in life.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
So I think that we just have to get like right into talking about like there was two major things that happened in like the Bravo world this week. Starting off last week, Tamra, who you guys have heard us speak about, if you don't watch Housewives, she's on Housewives of Orange County, and she's like, ugh, like an awful human. And like this just like sign seal delivered everything. Chef's kiss to like maybe get her fired for good this time. She came on her podcast last week and teary eyed expressed that after going to her first therapy session, she has been diagnosed with being on the spectrum. I don't know a ton about diagnosing that. I do know that it's not done by a therapist. Well, like one specific therapist. I do know that it doesn't come from one therapy session. So it's like, no, you're just an asshole. Like you're just like not aware of people's feelings, or you don't care about people's feelings, like your lack of empathy, and like you're evil, and like that is, yes, a illness, but it's a self illness. It's not anything that medication can fix.
Mhm.
Or I don't mean to sound ignorant, like, you're not classified as being on the spectrum just because you're an asshole. And how insulting to all of these people that actually are on the spectrum and do have daily challenges every single day. And you think like, because you've been getting so much horrible feedback about being such a horrible individual, that like now you're going to like say that you have something wrong with you so that it makes everything okay. And like the internet went crazy on her. And she was like, I am just getting so many hateful comments. And it's like, well, you're a hateful person. So you
Mhm.
should not be so stupid.
Yeah. So full transparency, I didn't see a lot about this because of the fact that last week I was very busy. We had our 2 episodes and I just had like a busy week. And so I wasn't online that much, like looking at things. But I do know that I think that it's interesting timing that this would come out with like the timing of the feedback she's receiving this
Mm-hmm.
season because of her actions on the show. And she doesn't have a storyline this season other than just being an
Being
asshole
mean. Yeah.
and being hateful and being mean. She doesn't have a storyline about her own life. As we've seen on the show, and as I've mentioned, like it doesn't seem like her marriage is going well. She's just not a nice person. She's like turning on her friend for having alcoholism, like all these things. It's just not
Alleged.
right. Like it's not a good look for her, anything this season. So I can't really like speak about her being on the spectrum or not being on the spectrum because obviously neither we don't know, but it is interesting timing. That's all I
Yeah.
can say about it.
Super strategic. And like, that's how dumb and self centered you are, that you thought, I got it. I got the cure. I know what's going to help me, what's going to like validate the way that I act. And it's like, no, girl,
Mhm.
no,
And if she
no.
is, then I mean, whether she is or she's not is like, doesn't matter to me, but the timing just feels strategic and manipulative. And I don't like that because if
And no
you,
one is diagnosed after one therapy session. It's like weeks and months of testing.
Mhm.
So
I
like,
would
it's
think
just like
so. Yeah. I mean,
gross.
I don't know, but I would think it just seems very like PR
Mm-hmm.
stuntish, and I don't like that at all. And I don't like her.
No.
And I think the way that she came about it was like for sympathy. And if she is on the spectrum, then you would think she would come about it not in a way that's like for sympathy, like come
Mm-hmm.
out in a way that's, I don't know, it just feels
It's
icky.
gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
So,
And so hopefully, Bravo, see ya. You've
mhm.
got, here we go. You've gotten rid of people for a whole lot less than that. So
Definitely.
see ya.
Hmm.
And then this news came out like later on in the week, but then it was like quickly, debunked. But Alexis, that we have been talking about also from Real Housewives of Orange County, her ex husband was rumored to be dating this former housewife. And so the internet went wild, and so she calls her boyfriend Johnny J, and her husband's name is Jim. So everyone's like, Jimmy B. Like, and they were like, keep that same energy then bring Elizabeth back on the show, make Alexis have a whole season with her while she's dating her ex-husband. Like,
Hmm.
that would have been so great. Also, like, I honestly could see them as a couple. They
Yeah.
both do nothing for me, but I could see them like making sense with one another.
Yeah.
But it
I like
quickly
Elizabeth. I mean, she made
she's
like a short
interesting.
appearance earlier this season when they went to her house in Palm
Like
Springs.
yeah.
Yeah, when because Gina is like selling her house,
Yeah.
and I think she's entertaining, but like as a friend of, like I don't think
Yeah.
she yeah, but I just think whatever, she's like funny, but I don't think she brings enough to be like a full on housewife. And I don't like Jimmy B, but even he was like calling out Johnny J and had Shannon's back, and I'm like, you sued her and now you have her.
You
It's just
sued
so
her.
messy.
It's so messy. But we'll get into that because that we are recapping today.
Yes.
So that's kind of just like what happened outside of the shows that we watch in the Bravo world, which was interesting. But yeah, like mainly like get rid of Tamra, please.
Yes. I also just really quickly saw, and I should have looked into it, but I did see that there's some drama with Southern Charm cast happening, and I don't really know what it is. So I know that's very vague,
Oh.
but something with JT, JD, JT,
Oh, I could see it, JT.
JT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little man
So
syndrome. No
yeah,
offense.
but I'm always excited for Southern Charm, but uh, something's
I just
happening.
listened to Craig. Craig was on a podcast and he said that they had like just started filming and it must have like happened like probably right after because he said like so far so good. So
I mean,
that
there
will
was drama
be
at the end of last season with JT. His name's JT, right?
I
The
believe it is JT. Yeah.
Yeah, JT and Shep, right? And
Hmm.
they all like got in a fight at the end of last season. So in Austin, all the boys. So
Who has a girlfriend, a serious girlfriend who I guess everyone loves.
who Austin?
That's what Craig said. Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm. And he's like
okay.
really changing his tune apparently. So
And I saw a picture of
everyone,
him holding Lindsay's belly, her
yes.
pregnant belly, and it said Uncle
And
Austin. And they were like a
apparently him and
thing.
Madison are getting along better than ever.
Okay, sorry to all the people that don't watch these shows because you have no idea who we're talking about, but it's going to be a wild season. And I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Lindsay's not on this show, but they used to hook up
They're all intertwined. All these Bravo shows
yeah,
are intertwined with one another if they're like around the same age group.
right. Lots of
But
crossover.
that will lead us right on into the challenge, which
Yes.
so good. It happened. We got the switch up that we have been waiting for and knew was coming.
Yep.
So eras are officially done, and you are an individual player at this point,
Mm-hmm.
which changes everything. And what's so funny is last week we talked about how Rachel was by herself. She's the only one because Derek went home. And like, how is she ever going to win a challenge? Like, she's by herself. Well,
She won.
she won the challenge. She won. Her and her strong little grip won the challenge.
Yeah, and it's funny because, I mean, obviously we're like, how are they going to think of a challenge that like she could do, blah, blah. And it's like they had to do all these math equations, and depending on how many math equations they got right was how many grip holds they had per team to like, they had to hold on to, like, it's
They were
kind of
in
like
like
a rock climbing wall, a shipping
yeah,
container. They were in
shipping
a shipping
container. They were above
container.
water.
Yeah, and it had these like rock climbing hold things. I don't know what they're called. And the
Grips.
floor dropped out and they had to hold on. And so if they got 6 math equations right, they had 6 for their whole team. Okay, so for her, she's only one person. So I'm like, she only needed to get a couple right because that's how many holds she needs. And so that made total sense for her. Whereas the other teams, it's like some of them, yeah, they only got 6 right. So they had 2 holds per person. So that's your hands and your feet, and you're screwed. So
No shade, but Jordan does only have one hand, so not great for him.
right. And he still held on longer than some people.
Yeah, he did. But go
So-
Rachel. She fucking killed it. And which then brings us to our favorite person to speak about on the show, Josh. I didn't realize that they had any friendship, let alone this really deep friendship. That was new.
Yeah.
It took till episode 11 to tell us that you and Rachel are friends. I haven't
Like-
even seen you guys talk.
Besties. But also Josh, okay, the little like montage, it wasn't a montage, but at the end when they like show him like crying about how close they are, and I'm just like, who are you not close with? Like, you cry about every friendship, and I'm just like, you're so emotional.
He's a pick-me boy. And also, like, he thought, like, okay, everyone's going to be counting on me to sway the vote and get her to say what we need her to say. I'm going to be honest, Josh, I don't think anyone was. I don't think anyone at any point in time was like, you're going to be the hero this week. You are going to help us out. And he's like, and I don't want to let anyone down. You can't, because no one was counting on you.
And like, if you thought that, like, that was how you handled it, he just like, he was like, I understand any decision you make and whatever. And Casey's supposed to be his best friend, and he's just like,
He's like, but you got to do what you got to do. And I totally get it.
like, he's the worst challenger. I don't get how he's still here.
Well, that's what I'm hoping. Like, now we're really going to see, because now everyone's on their own. I don't see him making it too much further. And then I was sad Devin left. I know you either love him or hate him. I love Devin. I think he's a great competitor. He just, where was he during his elimination challenge? Like, he's so methodical, and like always is like, thinks 3 steps ahead of everyone, and was no.
I know, but Kyland is very, very smart. So it was a good matchup for that challenge or that elimination.
Totally. Oh yeah, no. Either which way, like I'm okay with the result, but I was sad to see Devin go. I was.
Yeah, same. I hope Michelle's next. Bye.
Well, where are they going to meet, in Thailand?
The Philippines, yeah.
Oh, Philippines, yeah. He's like, I'm gonna be waiting for you, whenever, blah blah blah. So we shall see. It's gonna get good, and it's our favorite time.
Yep.
Can't wait to see all the new twists and turns.
Yeah, I was very excited to see everyone's going solo. Can't wait to see all the backstabbing that's about to happen.
And then, honestly, like, New York and Salt Lake were giving us nothing this week. In New York, they're in the Hamptons. Last season was season 1 of this new cast of New York. And so I think we maybe had mentioned it before, but all of the girls go to Erin's Hampton's house and they are complaining that they are so hungry and there's no food and everything. And like, there was food. And then like any event that Erin threw for the rest of the season, like they kept referencing how there was never any food. So cut to this year and this season. I mean, I'm shocked she didn't have food just on the walls. Like she had
So much food
everywhere because she was like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not going to go down as somebody who doesn't feed my guests, you know?
Right.
Oh my God. That to me was like the best part. I'm like, I definitely see that you're making this effort.
Yeah. She
Well, you
remodeled
didn't
her
need
whole
to.
damn kitchen. Like she was like, oh, this is a chef's kitchen, bitches. I am ready for you, hoes.
Ready.
We have
Ready.
food and we have a lot of it. Yeah. But you're right. There just was not. I mean, the episode ended with like okay, this is going to get good. So I think this week's episode will be good. But there just wasn't anything going on. I had like one line of notes, and I was like, it was just whatever.
Yeah.
So,
and same thing with Salt Lake too. Like Salt Lake. Honestly, the thing that I was most shocked about was Mary having her son on camera in this week's episode.
Yeah, but you know what? Every time he's in an episode, because he's in episodes sometimes. Usually, it's his voice.
He was on drugs.
He's always just asking for money.
Because he's on drugs. You didn't see, he couldn't even open his eyes. And then she was like, then he asked for money and she was like, for good things, right? I mean, I think he's now like currently in rehab for fentanyl. Yeah. But like, I was honestly shocked. One, that Bravo would have filmed him. And two, that Mary would have like been just like, oh yeah, be on camera. This seems like a good time. He's literally like, I'm going to go back to my room now.
I mean,
you should.
She
and
has
he was
also
like, not
let him be on camera when he was like secretly married.
Yeah.
Last season. I don't think,
things aren't going well in that household.
She lets a lot of weird things be on camera. So
yeah.
Whatever.
Things are not going well in that household.
No, but what was good this week was Orange County.
We have both discussed it. We've also discussed it like in our friend like group chats that like we know that our friends who watch it. I mean, this was top 5, if not top 3 episodes of all times of Orange County Housewives. There was so much vindication that happened. There was so much like, I'm calling a spade a spade. Like it was what we have been waiting for. So we pick up still in London for Shannon's 60th birthday, which it's going rough. I mean, these girls.
They are so mean to Shannon on her birthday trip. They are relentless with picking on her and just jabbing at her. Not that anyone should ever have to like go through that ever, but especially on like a girl's trip. But it is her birthday trip. And it's just jab after jab after jab, relentless. And I'm like, as someone who loves their birthday, I'm a Leo, okay? I love my birthday. I would not be handling it as well as Shannon. She's pretty calm, cool, and collected.
Yeah.
Like she just walks away. This is her like new thing. I'm just going to the bathroom. Absolutely not.
Very proud of her.
I would be no.
I'm very proud of her because you could say what you can about Shannon, but a lot of people would not be able to do what she is doing this season, and I give her a lot of credit. I mean, you know me, I'm crazy about my birthday. I have a dress code. So
yeah,
like
she keeps her cool. Okay, at the beginning of the episode, like, or towards the beginning, they're all out at a dinner or whatever. And as we know from, this season, she is the single one. Reminding you, it is her birthday trip. So why don't we cater to the birthday girl and not play some stupid fucking game where we all text our man some stupid fucking thing and, oh, let's see what our men text us back. And like, let's do this game where the birthday girl is the one person that's left out of this game that is like a game for high schoolers. But let's play this game where the one person who's left out and can't participate is the birthday girl.
Yep.
I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, this is not funny or fun. And she can't participate
It's
because she
cruel.
doesn't have a man. And they all think it's so funny and they're all laughing and and she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to bed. And like,
Right.
I'm so proud of her too. I would have been like, are you hoes fucking
I
serious?
would have been like, you know what? I changed your flights. Actually, you all are leaving in the next hour.
Yeah.
Pack your things and get the fuck out.
Fuck out of my face and give me my Burberry shit back.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm not gifting Burberry to people who are mean.
No.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh my God. I would have been so pissed.
Tamra, if you hate this person so much, why are you on the trip? Alexis isn't on the trip. You did not have to come. And if you did, and because you did decide to come and you agreed to come, be in the spirit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you have to fake it. Well, I mean, clearly you're faking it. But like, you're being so rude. She's like, oh, I wanted everyone to wear tiaras and I wanted to do this. And, you know, I'm the Duchess of Corona. What did she say?
Corona Del Mar, yeah.
Yeah, Corona Del Mar. And she's like, I'm not wearing it. I'm not wearing that. I'm not. It's like, okay, none of us want you here. You are so fucking rude.
Bitch, if you don't wear the bucket hat and the tiara, you better fly the fuck home.
Also, like, you're doing it with your friends. It's funny.
It's funny. She's not asking you to like, oh, I'm going to wear a ball gown and you guys are going to wear trash bags.
Right.
Like, it's not that serious. It's like cute and funny. The bucket hats were cute. Everyone, it's just like a cute, funny thing that you're all doing. She's not asking you to like do something outlandish and crazy. She's not asking you to wear something that's like hideous or uncomfortable or like crazy. And she's complaining, oh, Shannon has so many money problems. Okay, well, you're accepting the expensive gifts and the trip and you're accepting it all with no complaint.
You're staying in a penthouse with no problem. You flew first class, no problem.
Yeah. So why didn't you tell her no?
And also, like, this is my thing about Housewives in general when they call somebody broke. We all know you're getting over $1 million. Each of you are getting over $1 million a season.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and I'm not saying that you don't have any money issues or whatever, but it's like, you're not like doing this for $50 an episode. So it's like, okay.
I was wondering this a couple weeks ago when they were talking about like, oh, Jenna Lyons said, like, I'm having money. Like, when they said, oh, well, Jenna confided in us that she was having money problems. I'm like, what is their definition of money problems? I don't think it's the same as ours.
I'm going to be completely honest. It is not. I don't know anything, and I know that.
Right. Like,
when I say money, when I have money problems, am not at the same time going out and buying a $217,000 2024 Bentley.
No.
So
just like if we were to say like, oh, I'm so broke, would be different even than someone that maybe is living somewhere else. like is experiencing homelessness. I mean, I'm just saying, like, everyone's version of like money
definition of money problems. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
And so I think our version of living in a home is probably Jenna Lyons' version of experiencing homelessness.
Yes, literally. She's like, and I had to fire my private chef, and my in-house maid, and
the person who opens my door.
I have to wash my own clothes.
Sick.
I am going through it, guys.
Yeah. She's like, I had to fire my Monday morning chef.
Literally.
Disgusting. I am broke.
So like they're just being so mean, but I loved that Shannon fucking gave it right back to Tamra because this is what I've been waiting for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, and Jen said it perfect in the confessional. She was like, it does not matter. Like, Tamra just wants to be right. And it does not matter how wrong she is. She will take it as far as she can possibly take it just so she, in her mind, can appear to be right. You're going to tell me that when someone uncovers a text message that proves that this woman started the lawsuit and was part of it, that is now part of this other lawsuit that I'm in, and you're out hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you're going to be like, It was just a text message. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? All of us, actually. All of us care.
Because you've been lying about it.
Because you've been lying about it and you look like a fucking moron for 25 different reasons.
Yeah, it's not a good look, and she's just digging herself deeper.
And she deserves everything she's getting.
Yeah.
Only to then be put in the hot seat by Jen. And bravo for Jen. Because finally, another person who has been ridiculed for both of the seasons that she's on by her supposed friend, Tamra, okay? But like, what I wear, though, don't ever fucking count my money. You do not know what I have or don't have. You don't know what has been gifted to me. You don't know how I came about something. You don't know, like, none of it. None of it is your business unless I am directly involving you and your family and your health. Don't say a fucking word about me and my money and what I may or may not have. So if I want to wear a $2,000 dress while you know that I couldn't pay for something else, then let me wear a $2,000 dress because you do not know how I came about getting this $2,000 dress.
I have never, ever heard them talk so much about someone else's money. And so they, for the listeners, if you haven't watched the episode or don't watch whatever, they're talking about this dress that Jen is wearing to the tea party that they had a couple weeks ago and how it was $2,500 or whatever. And Heather's like is talking about, oh my God, I saw it at Neiman Marcus and I can't believe she wore this $2,500 dress. And so Jen calls her out and is like, was my dress a problem? Like, you know, and she's like, no, I just
But
noticed.
of course, Heather took the information to Tamra and then Tamra goes and runs with it. So Heather was the root of it. Tamra was the
mouth piece.
Yeah.
And Heather's like, no, I just noticed that it was $2,500. First of all, it's none of your business. Second of all, Jen's like, okay, well, Ryan bought it, which is her boyfriend who has money. But it's like, that's none of your business who bought this. If I bought it, if he bought it, if I stole it, if like, it's none of your business how I acquired this. It could be my best friends. It could be my neighbors. It could like, it's just none of your business. It doesn't matter how I got it. It could be on loan. Like, who cares?
I didn't use your card to get it.
Right. Why are you talking about it? And so then they're like, well, you told us you get $6,000 a month in child support or like spousal support from your ex. So why are you spending $2,500? It's just like, shut up. And then they're saying, well, then you're letting Ryan buy it, which is her man. Her man can buy her anything he wants. Like,
I'm sorry. Are we now? Okay, Heather? Then where's all your stuff coming from?
Yeah, because you don't. Besides,
because you don't work,
right? Besides this show, you don't work. Like, as your husband's a famous plastic surgeon, so he is bringing in the money right now. It's just like no one talks about other people's, oh, well, your husband brings in this much money, so you technically spent his money. Just because her and Ryan aren't married and because they don't like Ryan, that's why they're talking about it. They don't talk to Gina about what did Travis buy. Right. But
his money is shady, but that's
none of their business.
Yeah. Different issue.
What is Travis? They don't talk about what Travis is paying for and not paying for, and because no one cares. And it's just like and then Gina's always like, well, how is she paying for glam? I do my own glam. It's like, we can tell. That's why we're always like, everyone's always saying that your glam looks bad.
Maybe actually invest in glam.
Yeah. Like maybe you wouldn't get made fun of.
Like not just on trips, like in general.
Like, yeah. Like you didn't have to tell us that you do your own. We know.
But like Jen is literally just the sweetest person and she's such a good friend and she's so kind and she's funny and she honestly does not let these things get to her and she knows exactly who she is and you can tell she knows exactly who she is and that she's very secure with herself but we didn't like set up the scene when she goes in to confront Tamra. Ooh, Tamra did not look good. And I loved it. Jen's like, turn the blow dryers off. Like Tamra and Heather are like getting glam. And she's like, nope, turn the blow dryers off. I want you to hear this. And she just goes in on her. And everything she said was right. And I was like, get your fucking balls. Get your fucking balls. I'm so glad you found them. I'm so glad you're speaking up for yourself. Go, Jen. Everything she said was chef's kiss.
Yes. And Tamra had no
Nothing.
comeback. All she could say was,
Tried
bye.
to.
She just kept saying,
Okay.
and then
Bye.
she was,
Bye.
bye.
Okay, bye. Yeah, bye all the way out of Bravo. Okay.
Yeah. And she just knew she was caught. So basically, she had a background check run on Jen's boyfriend like a couple years ago. And Shannon showed Jen the proof of it because obviously Shannon's over Tamara's shit. And Jen was pissed, as she should be. And
she lied about it. And and it's like Heather and Tamra continue to lie and like change the rules up when it fits and benefits them the most. And both of them got called out and neither of them could say anything other than, you're right. I'm sorry. Well, we got that from Heather at least, which you knew she did not want to say, but she literally had no choice.
But then in her confessional, Heather's like, I didn't know Jen could even talk that loud. Like, she's just so like snarky. It's like, shut up. Like, good for her that she stuck up for herself.
And I'm glad that Gina's coming around and realizing, like, I don't have to play this role that Heather needs me to play. I don't need Heather as a friend. Like, it's like, yeah, like these are like, I don't like either of them. And Heather, just like be a person. You don't have to be some rich snob all the time for people to like respect you. It's like, just like I've always stood by. I do love seeing her with her children. She's so lighthearted. She's so fun. Like, be that. Be who you are with your family with your friends. Like,
yeah, she's just not. Yeah, I don't get it either. I don't like her this season at all because she's just a mean girl and like not. I don't know. It's weird because she's very like open and accepting of like her kids and their sexuality and very much like love everyone and don't judge. And then with her friends, she's so like mean and hateful and it's weird. So yeah.
But it was so good, this episode. Like, I loved this week's episode. If you're not an Orange County watcher, like, honestly, go and watch this one because it's gold.
It is,
gold.
yeah.
But I think what we've all been waiting to talk about, if you saw on our stories, we're going to talk about Love is Blind.
Yes, we are.
And okay, so the whole conversation like initially started because I had texted one of my friends who I knew was caught up because like 2 other episodes came out, I think, I don't know, like on Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. And so I watched them and I knew that my friend would have watched them. And so I texted her and I was like, okay, did you watch the new episodes? Like, what do you think? And she immediately said something about Tim. I was ready to say like, Tim, come on over this way. Like, I like a lot of things about you. I like how you move. I like what you say. I like the accountability. There is so much to him that I liked. She could not have felt more opposite. So then
I am not the friend, by the way.
No. So then I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, am I watching a different show? I'm like, how could you have any other takeaway other than like, he's a really good guy and she's the fucking problem? And I'm like, do I need to go to therapy? I'm like, this is like alarming, like how polar opposite and like the things that she was saying about him and like her takeaways. I was like, are we watching the same show? So then I text Kelly and I'm like, where are you at in your journey? I'm like, because my friend, now I'm in the group chat. Both of my friends feel this way. And so they're like, what does Kelly think? They're like, we need to know what Kelly thinks. And so I'm like, okay, well, she hasn't watched them yet. I'm like, she's not done. And so I'm like, okay, I need you. And I didn't tell her why. Like, I was just like, I need to hear your thoughts on Tim. And I wasn't telling her at this point in time, like which way. And so she's like giving me little snippets, but I'm like, I need more. And finally she's like, he fucking sucks. Like, and she's going in. And I'm like, okay, I do need to go to therapy. Like, how am I so in love or attracted or turned on by this person? And everyone is like, he's the devil. I'm like, 6666666. So then I go online and I'm like reading comments. And actually, there's a lot of people on my side. So I'm like, okay, So then I start talking to like my other friends back home, and they also feel the same way about Tim. And I'm like, okay. And not that I need everyone to be on my side by any means, I don't care. But I just wanted to make sure like I really wasn't as crazy as I had originally thought I was, which in Kelly's eyes, I still am. But that's cool. But
You
like,
know,
and I was
no.
talking to one of my guys, like I was talking to guys, I was talking to girls, like I was really trying to get like a good, like, overall view of it. And I told one of my guy friends, I was like, well, you're an actuary, which means that you like really think about things and you like work in facts. And if you're on Team Tim, like, sorry, case closed. If an actuary is on Tim's side, I think we all should be. I think that's a lesson learned.
No. Absolutely not. Okay, now I will take the floor because I'm so disturbed. Like, oh my God. Okay, so Kyra texted me about this. What are your thoughts on Tim? The only 2 new episodes came out, but I was like not even caught up by that time, which usually when Love is Blind is on, I like binge right away the season. Like, I really like Love is Blind. This season is a little bit boring, just overall. Like, that's why they had to show Leo and Brittany or whatever, who didn't even end up making it on the show. Like, I'm like, why did they even show them in the pods? And it's like, well, they had to because there was no other triangle. Anyways,
Facts.
it's just kind of like not really the best season, but also because there's been a lot going on. So I wasn't caught up. So it took me a while to catch up to where we're at. So, and also since we're doing the podcast, I had to, I have to prioritize watching Housewives and make sure I get those shows watched. And so I was taking a long time to watch them. And so Kyra had texted me like a couple times, like, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts? And I'm like, okay, like, he's just like a normal, I don't know. He like met her dad and he's like, fine. Like, I just like there was like no thoughts to have until there was. Like, he's just like a normal guy. Like, I was like, I don't have any thoughts. He's like boring. And then I had some fucking thoughts. And I mean, we can post my text that had my thoughts in the carousel. But I'm just like, okay, to break down my thoughts, if you're not caught up, then this is going to be like a spoiler, I guess.
Spoiler alert.
But it's a week past, so if you're not caught up, then too bad. He, first of all,
Do better.
he's upset about multiple things. But the thing that he's expressing is, and we'll come back to this specific thing because I know we have a different opinion about the nap thing. So we'll come back to that. He's upset she took a nap, and like we'll come back to that. He's upset about the nap, and then he's upset about that he spent so much effort. And he's like, I tried so hard with your family. I woke up at 8 a.m.
He didn't say it like this.
And I went to the store and I seasoned meat and I cleaned the grill and I made a bunch of meat for your family and I did the dishes. I'm sorry, you bottom of the barrel bitch. That, oh my God, I am getting enraged.
I just didn't. Nope.
No. This is bare minimum. Okay. I am so enraged right now because I'm like, is that like, that's doing the most for like.
First of all, he didn't say it the way that Kelly is saying it. He was just like, he's like, I cooked all day. He's like, I got up early. I cooked all day. I like met your family. I did exactly. And he really was from the heart. When he wrote that letter to her father, that was very, very sweet. How he approached her dad was very, very sweet. Very, very noble. Like all of those, you cannot take that away. Even if you don't like him, those things were.
It was,
and but you better fucking believe I'm cleaning the goddamn dishes. You're cooking for my family. You get up, you go grocery shopping, you do everything.
Okay,
first of all,
that's fine.
I'm cooking and cleaning. You come on over this way, Tim. I'll cook and clean for you.
Ugh, not me. No. I think, okay, so this is my thing. And I actually like said this recently. I was talking about something else. Like, I feel like it, obviously the household that you're raised in really determines like how you date and like the type of men you look at and all these things, right?
Also, I'm sure he probably had to clean their apartment because when they went to her apartment, it was a fucking disaster in there. Ooh, we can talk about that too,
Okay.
because the way I would never have a place that looked like that.
Okay. Great. That's fine. The household that I was raised in, my dad cooks all the time, grills specifically. Would never say to my mom, I had to get up at 8 a.m. and season the meat
No.
and cook krill for your whole family. And guess
Likewise.
what? My dad will, for instance, last Thanksgiving, my dad cooked the whole meal and did the dishes. And my mom's friend had dinner with us and was like, oh my God, your husband's like doing the dishes. And my mom was like, yeah. It's like,
Listen,
it's
I'm
just
not
like not
saying
that serious. Like to me, not saying like my mom doesn't do anything because she obviously does, and she made a bunch of the sides. And like obviously my parents have been married for a million years, and it's like different than the first time meeting someone's family. It's like a different situation. But and I'm not saying that's like how every day is. Like my dad's always like cooking and cleaning and all this
right.
stuff. My mom does a bunch of shit too, so I'm just putting that out there. But I'm just saying it's like the way that he acted like this is the biggest deal of your life, that you like cooked a meal and did the dishes, when it's like, okay, well, she's with her family enjoying time. So that's great
Well,
that
I
you did
also
that.
think that we are also aware that this was not, there was more to his anger than what he was saying.
Right.
You know what I
But
mean?
that's
Like,
what
it's
I'm
like,
saying. Then
at the
say
end of
what
the
you're
day, I think that if
actually
everything was going well, I don't think he would have had a problem cooking and
right.
cleaning.
But
I think that
say
it's
what you're
lack of
actually mad
everything
about.
that she doesn't do.
Say what you're actually mad about. That this is my whole point. Say what you're actually mad about. Because if this is all that you're mad about, this is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. But this is all you said. You said you're mad she took a nap, and you're mad that you made a meal and did dishes.
That's all we saw. Because also, too,
Right.
the reason that they're arguing is that she put her hands on him.
Okay, but they didn't
And they didn't show
right,
that.
they
And they
didn't
didn't talk about
show.
that.
Right. And so that's why my opinion is based on what we're seeing on the show. This is my opinion that I'm giving based on what the show we're watching. And so I'm saying, like, the stuff they're fighting about that they're showing, which is what we're giving our opinion on, is fucking stupid. And if you're mad about something that actually isn't a problem, then say
I'd be
it.
like, I'm mad that you're a slob. I'm mad that you're lazy. I'm mad that you don't know how to communicate. I'm mad that you have an attitude. I'm mad that
Perfect.
you have to go and take a nap.
Well, I love a nap, so bye.
No. So
Yeah, and she
this
was like,
man,
I get tired easily. I worked all day. This is why I didn't text back. This is why I didn't communicate. This is why I did this, X, Y, and Z. She had an answer to every single thing he said. And he was just like, nope, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough, not good enough. And I cooked for your family, and I woke up at 8 a.m. Like, that's even early. And I did this, and I did this, and I never want to see you again. And she said, okay.
yeah, she's so fucking butthurt. You know she is, because she did not think that man was going to leave her,
I would be
and as
fucking
if she's the
butthurt if my
prize, as
fiance
if
broke up
she's
with
the
me because I
prize.
took a nap. I would be
No.
fucking butthurt too.
So the nap thing that we're referring to is his parents, who drove 10 hours, who he has mentioned multiple times are the most important people in his lives. Now, I want to preface this with, I do not think that this man is a perfect man. I do not think that there were no flaws in the way he communicated and what he said. I do not think that. But I do think that, like, I have been in those situations where I'm 100% going to shut down because you're not allowing me the opportunity to speak. You're not allowing me to be able to get my thought out before cutting me off, before telling me what it is you think that I'm going to say. So I'm just like, okay, are you done? Are you done? Or are you going to let me have a thought? Because I've definitely been in that situation before. I'm not saying that it's right. I'm just saying that I can absolutely relate to that. But what the nap situation was is she was meeting his parents for the first time. And she got up and went and took a nap. I am not saying that, like, at a family holiday, whatever, like, you go lay down for a little while or whatever the case may be. The first time I'm meeting my fiance's parents, no fucking way. No way in any universe would I ever do that. Like, it's just, it would never happen to me. That is so disrespectful. It is selfish. Like, there's no way. You don't need, okay, if you need a nap that bad, that bad where you cannot meet with your soon to be mother-in-law and father-in-law like without really like closing your eyes and walking away like seek a medical attention because like come on.
It
Come
sounds like
on.
she might have a medical problem, and she
And no, it's
alluded to
yeah,
that.
that she has created on her own because she's a fucking lazy ass person. You saw her apartment, guys. Her apartment, I've never seen. It looked like a hoarder. It looked like a hoarder, and like everyone left. Everyone who's like, you are not the first girl who's into fashion that has gone on this show. So to say that like, oh, I didn't know what I was gonna pack, and it was like right before I left, and like I just no, girl, that is not a one time try on haul situation. Her stack of clothes, I can't even, it's going to be off the screen how big the stack of clothes in her closet was, let alone everywhere else in her house, like the mess that was just everywhere. I'm sure a person like that does need to take a nap. You're too tired to pick up your clothes. Like,
Facts.
nope. So my friends, yeah, they agree with Kelly and they think that he is so condescending and like he like was just like so rude and like out of line. I again do not feel that way. And I do think like it's a shared household. Like my dad cooked every single night. My mom did not cook. My mom is not a cooker, like for our health, thank God. Like but like so I'm not saying like, oh, she needed to do the cooking and like it's just like no, it's like but it's a shared household. Like if I'm hosting my family and my partner is doing one thing, I'm going to do the other. I mean, if we're being really realistic, I'm doing everything because I'm a control freak like that. And like, I just like love to like do that. Like I'm very traditional in that sense, but like I don't think that that's out of line to be like she was probably sleeping. She probably slept till 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
But
And he's like, I got up at 8 a.m. and was doing stuff.
she was very much like, if you didn't like something, you should have told me. And he never,
Agreed.
like, if you
Agreed.
didn't like that I didn't text you back, or if you didn't like that I went and took a nap or whatever, you should have told me, which is true. And he never told her until this conversation. So it's like, that's on you. Like, how would I know? Like, we barely know each other. So how would I know that you're upset? Some people aren't upset about it. Just like me and you see this thing differently, they're seeing it differently because he never told
100%.
her. So it wouldn't bother me if my man was out there, if my man wasn't doing everything for my family or wasn't sitting there all day talking to my parents while the first time they met, I wouldn't care, and neither would my family. So,
no.
but some people's families would. So like, you never know.
I don't think that my family wouldn't care.
I know,
I
but
would
some
care.
people's would. So
Yeah.
it's like, you have to tell the person if that would bother your family or you have
He
to
literally
tell them.
said to her, these are the two most important people in my life. This is a really big opportunity. Or big deal. Like I've never introduced.
But so are my parents. My parents are the most important people in my life, but they wouldn't give a shit if the person that they're meeting has said, oh, I need to step away for an hour to go do whatever the hell. They're not going to be like, oh my God, my parents are so easygoing. They wouldn't care. So
Yeah.
if that would bother my parents, I would have to tell the person, hey, this is going to bother my family. So if you care about me and my feelings, then you need to not do that.
And again, I think that also like a huge part of this is like what producers show us or what editors show us, you know, because they should have left each other in Mexico when she stepped out of line in Mexico and he wasn't in it. Like that's when they should have ended things. So like, and again, like to go back to like, obviously the things that he was saying, I mean, I did feel like he was validated, but they weren't like the ultimate deal breakers to me.
Right.
But it's because we didn't see what those ultimate deal breakers were. And he didn't like communicate that on screen that we as a viewer saw.
Right. And I will say, as my final note, I under no circumstances do I think it's acceptable to put your hands on anyone for any reason. So even though, unless it's like self-defense, obviously, but even though I am on Alex's side for this argument that they showed on screen, I do not condone.
And she
physical
sucks.
violence.
She has a stank ass attitude all the time. Ugh.
No, I don't condone what Kyra's saying, but I'm saying I don't condone physical violence.
She does.
Of any part.
No. Say it again. You condone everything I'm saying.
No. And you know what? I hope this audio is going to turn out okay because we keep talking over each other and people are not going to understand what we're saying. But we'll see.
So please let us know. Are you team? I know you guys did the other day. And oh my God, that was a funny thing too. We had a poll on our Instagram story the other day, and Kelly was like, "Are your friends just like blindly voting for you because like out of I don't know why I can't think of the word
Blind
that I'm
loyalty.
looking for. Yeah, blind loyalty, or like, do they really think that? So then I had to like go look to see who voted, and I was like, oh no, like these are people that do watch the show, like, and some of my friends voted for her. So
I'm concerned for you.
I've just, like I said, I don't need to be right in this scenario at all. I am just glad that other people saw what I saw so that I'm not really crazy. Like, because if no one saw what I saw, I'd be like, well, I'm going to 5150 myself because clearly I have a problem that needs to be addressed. But it's not that way. So that
No,
made me
honestly though, if you're listening to this and you voted for Kyra, I'm concerned for you. So anyways, moving on with Love is Blind, other things that happened. Hannah's the worst. And let's all remember Kyra's also the one that thought I was Hannah. So that's Kyra's judgment. So if you agree with Kyra,
That's
concerned.
my cross to bear.
I'm
But
concerned
I,
about you.
I did say you are not Hannah at all. No
She's
part of you
so
is Hannah.
mean. She's
Oh
so
my
mean.
God. She is horrible. Her family hates her. Her friends are just as bad. That poor friend meetup with and Nick is way too nice. Nick is way too nice. The way I would have checked that bitch and put her in her motherfucking place time after time. Well, I would have left. First and foremost, I would have left. But I would not have met all of her criticism with love and like, I hear you and like I'm still here and I love you and I want to be with you. No, I don't. No. If this is week 3, where are we at in 3 months? Like, no.
She's
No.
very, very mean and cruel.
Horrible.
Okay. So, do you want to explain to the listeners what we're going to do? Like,
Oh, wait, can I say one more thing about but like last couple like that I need to know? Oh no. Well, first of all, Tyler, you're a fucking loser. You're a fucking loser. This man tried to pretend that he was just an egg donor or an egg donor. Yeah, because he's being a little bitch. No, that he was just a sperm donor for this couple that, this lesbian couple that couldn't obviously conceive. They needed the sperm so that he fathered 3 children that he doesn't even know, that don't even know what he looks like, all this stuff, blah, 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 which he also told his fiance well into this. Like that's probably conversation 1 or 2 when you're meeting someone or like when you're getting serious, like, hey, I have a child, or hey, I have 3 kids, or hey, like whatever. So we're like already like, no, a little bit of a red flag. But
several weeks.
She's like, okay, I'm going to sit with this for a little bit. I don't know if I can come back, like if I can get there, but like, okay. Whole ass liar. He has a full-on relationship with these children who look identical to him. And I don't know if this woman was in a relationship with another woman and then now they've since broke up, but it looks like it's just her and him parenting these kids.
She made a video and said they were conceived naturally. She is a lesbian, but she's
definitely a lesbian.
Conceived naturally.
Oh.
At least the twins were. I don't know about the other one, but.
So this man, it's like, you're so fucking gross. You have 3 whole kids out here that one, you're trying to say you don't. And then also you're lying. You're lying to like gross all around. Mm-hmm. And then there's Monica and Steven, who really quickly, Steven clearly has some like sexual things that he's into. And so Monica gets his phone and she sees all of these text messages and like calls everything off immediately. And like, I need to know what these text messages said. Because like they were already talking about like fucking all the time. They were talking about anal, like they were talking about all these things. So, and that she did not have a problem with. So like, I mean, that to me seems like very like mainstream, but like, what did these things say that were so disgusting?
I don't know. I think I don't know, obviously, because we don't know what they said, but I think
Netflix, I need you, Nick, Vanessa, whoever's in charge. We need those text messages leaked. Of all the things that happen in this universe that get leaked, please get that. I need to see what they said. Or at least if I don't see, just tell me. Just tell me what they said. I need to know, like, what would someone have to say to you to like disgust you to like leave them? Like you're in love with every other part of them.
Well, I took it more as like she was just disgusted that he was texting another girl. She did allude to what some of them said.
She said the things you were saying were disgusting. I couldn't even read them.
I know, but she did allude to what some of them said.
What?
She said like you were talking about coming all over her and stuff,
That's
which
how
I
you,
don't think is what she was saying. That's why I'm saying I don't think she was like disgusted by the actual content. I think she was just disgusted by the fact that he was saying it to another girl while he was like at a medical appointment.
was he at a medical appointment? No, I think they were like disgusting texts. I don't know. I need to know. I need to know just because like I'm a nosy person and like I just like really want to know that. So that all leads us into we are going to share some personal dating stories that could maybe like coincide with some of like the problems happening in these couples on Love is Blind. So, Kel, I'll let you take it away first.
Okay. Mine is like pretty quick but it relates to this last couple that we just spoke of. Um so when we were talking about doing this episode, I'm like, okay, most of my like dating stories that I have that are like pretty like funny that I will be telling on the podcast.
Because like Kelly's dating stories really are like they are funny. Like she will tell me these things and I'm like, what? How? What?
I don't know how these things happen or why I get into these situations, but I do have a plethora of interesting dating stories that will be coming soon. But some of them are like a little bit lengthy, so they'll just kind of be on like separate episodes that we're going to do that, you know, aren't like about reality shows as well. Um, so I kind of wanted to just talk about something that was shorter that kind of related to one of these couples. And so, I mean, I think a lot of the themes that we kind of see within Love is Blind, a lot of people can probably relate to within their own dating life. Um, and I mean, I can relate to a lot of themes within Love is Blind, which is um, people kind of pretending to be people that they're not, which a lot of the couples on this season and every season, we see that as a common theme. They are someone in the pods, and then once they meet, you know, in the real world or whatever, they just kind of the mask slips and they're someone else, and then they're kind of like, this is not who you are. So I think I've experienced that a lot with like online dating or whatever, or just like regular dating. Someone is kind of their best self and then they're not anymore. But I would say the thing that I related to most was with the Monica and Steven situation. So, like Kyra just explained, it was one of the couples this season, and the guy was caught texting other girls. So, in a recent situation, I would say I feel like Monica like really talked a lot this season about how she like really lowered her standards essentially for Steven. Um and kind of like going into the pods was like, I've always wanted to be with a guy that was like educated and well traveled and like really handsome and just smart and funny and like all these things. And I cared about things that were maybe like not important. And now, like, I'm in love with Steven, who's just like a loser, kind of. And like, whatever, you know, I mean, these are like her words. She didn't say loser, but just like basically, just kind of essentially, she lowered her standards for this man because she felt like he's my person and I just shouldn't have been
Maybe
focused.
I should, right. Like maybe I should give this person like a shot because like it is about how someone makes you feel. And okay, they're not this, and this. Like, all right, they could still be my person and bring out the best in me, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because like obviously looking for those other things like didn't work out for me. And she is like a beautiful, smart, educated woman, carries herself well, all these things. I mean, she wasn't one of my favorites. There was things she did that definitely like annoyed me and like whatever, but everyone should hold their standards high. Um so she basically lowered her standards, accepted this person because she felt like they had a good connection and felt like, okay, I shouldn't have, written people off before because they didn't meet this specific criteria that I had. And yeah, like love is blind, and like it doesn't matter if someone doesn't meet all these things. And so, she meets him and she's like, he's my person. And then he still goes in, like fucks her over and starts talking to these other girls. And like Kyra said, we don't know like exactly what he was saying, but it was obviously texting other girls and saying disgusting like sexual things that were inappropriate, especially when you're engaged to someone. And so I related to that, unfortunately. Just basically the last situation that I had, I definitely lowered my standards. Pretty much everyone in my life was like, what is happening? What are we doing here?
You good, Cal? Everything okay?
it was
Can
not
you blink
okay.
for us?
It got to the point where I was not able to like let anyone know that I was hanging out with this person, because everyone was like, we're not doing this, Kelly. We're not
And
gonna.
you already know, like men, I don't know, I have to imagine it's the same for men too, but like women, like when we are not telling our friends, our closest friends who we're, dealing with and hanging
Mhm.
around, like it's because we know we should not be.
Right. Like when the phone is going on airplane mode because I don't want my friends to see my location, like it's not a good look. And
Mm-mm.
it's when you're like digging through the phone to find like the best picture to show people, it's like it's
Yikes.
just a danger zone. But I'm a nice gal, so I'm like, it's not all about superficial things. But then when you still get fucked over by the person you lowered your standards for, you're like, really, motherfucker?
The
Really?
audacity.
The fucking audacity to fucking traumatize the girl that you should have never got in the first place, but you would never get again,
Like, you should be kissing the fucking ground that I walk on, recognizing how incredible of a woman I am,
Mhm.
and knowing that this caliber of a woman will not choose somebody like you,
Never.
and still you fuck me over. But that's when it goes back to people are people. I don't
Mhm.
mean to say men are just men. People are people. If you're a shitty person, it doesn't matter what mask you put on, it's
Mm-mm.
coming off.
It always does, and it doesn't matter how long it takes. And so basically, my advice to people, not that I really even take my own advice, but I am now, don't lower your standards, because I feel like it hurts even worse. Like if you get fucked over and then you feel like, oh, and I also betrayed myself, by lowering my own standards for this
Mhm.
person, because it just hurts to get fucked over to begin with. But if you also betrayed yourself by like lowering your standards or giving someone a second chance or a combination,
Mhm.
that was me. And then also like just knowing that people that fuck you over, it's about them. I mean, it's a them thing, obviously, and they're the ones who can't stand themselves.
Mhm.
And so we talked about this the other day, but people who like cheat and have like overlapping situations, like they can't be alone because they're so like unhappy with themselves. And so like they're so afraid and insecure to be alone. So that's why they have to overlap situations, because they want to make sure there's no like alone time. And so, we just have to wish them well. And I mean,
No,
not
we
really.
don't.
Like, I don't
We
really wish
don't.
you well, but it's just like, I wish
Like, don't
you
die.
to
Like,
stay
don't
the fuck
die. Like, I
out of
don't
my
want you to
face.
die, but like,
I just want you to have the life you deserve.
there you go.
And I don't know what that means. That means whatever it is. But yeah, so that's who I related to most, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, I promise I will have like fun, funny
Yes.
stories coming up.
Yes.
That one wasn't fun or funny, but that's just who I related to most this season, unfortunately.
So I would say for me, and like to know me is to know, like, I do not hold back. I am myself from the first second I meet you till we don't or do speak for the rest of our lives. And I don't really like let men talk to me a certain way, but there was this period of time where, so I would say I relate to Hannah and Nick, not to the extreme of Hannah and Nick, but I allowed this man who was great in so many ways to like try to like diminish me and like try to like make me feel like I wasn't intelligent. And like one thing that I hold very strong is I definitely know a little about a lot of things. And just because I did not go to college does not mean that I am not intelligent. Like I am a very, very intelligent woman and I do not take that lightly. And I'm going to preface this with not everyone is like this. And so I'm sorry if you're offended, but I'm not for a military man. Like military, it doesn't jive with me. There's a lot of similarities in military men that are not characteristics that I look for. Again, I am not saying that that is everyone. And if you love a military man, incredible, or a woman, incredible. It's just not for me. So that's like normally like when, especially we live in San Diego and it's like a highly like populated military, community. And so I always ask like, are you in the military? And I can normally sniff him out a mile away. And he was like, oh, I've been in the military for 15 years. And he's like in his 40s. And so I'm like, okay. Like I'll tread lightly, but like maybe you won't be like everyone else that I've ever encountered, even like when they're just my friends. But maybe you'll be different. So like in the beginning, again, like you're going to put on your best front, and he was so kind and he would like always like be so helpful and he was super successful and like always made plans and like we just like did a lot of fun things together. And then like slowly but surely, like I'd go to his house and we'd like cook dinner. I would cook dinner and I did the dishes. Okay.
Couldn't be
But
me.
like, but like he would like pick apart everything that I was doing. Even if I like got in the car and like didn't buckle my seatbelt in the time that he thought I should have buckled my seatbelt. Like, or like I would like watch something. Like I would literally watch him turn on the TV and it would be on ESPN. And I'm like, oh, they're talking about blah, 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 blah. And he would try to convince me that it was the news and like that wasn't what I was watching. And like, how could I think that? And like, can I even make my own decisions? And like, am I aware of things? And I was like, what? Like,
So he was the Hannah.
he was the Hannah. Oh
Okay.
yeah, he was the Hannah. And like, I would wash a dish and he'd be like, well, that's not how you wash a dish. And I'm like, well, then how do you wash a dish? Like, so I could only go on with this for so long. Like, and obviously this was not like a constant, like start to finish, like when we were together, like, no, he would have lasted one hour with me. But like, I put myself in that situation longer than I should have because of all the other sweet things that he would do, and it was like, but I knew it and I saw it. And I was like, I could never live a life this way. And it's so funny because like, I just like straight up stopped talking to him one day and that did not go well. He did not take well to that at all. It was lots of like mean texts and like, you should be so lucky to be with someone like me. And I was like, well, turns out I guess I don't need luck because I don't find luck in you. Like I'm good. Like I didn't respond, nothing, And maybe like a year ago, he texted me and to show me like this new house that he bought. And it was like a $2 million house. And he was like, but he's like, I fully retired at 41. Oh, sorry. No, because he was 39 when I met him. He had turned 40. Now he's 41. And so he was like, fully retired. I'm going to go spend some time in Asia for the next 8 months. Just wanted to let you know, I just bought this house. I still have my old one. Like, and I'm just like, sick. Like, did you think that like you were impressing me or that I'd be like, oh my God, I can't retire right now and spend 8 months with you in Asia, but are you asking me to? Like,
And you're bragging to someone that doesn't want to date you. So What does
And
that
like
say
it was
about
like
where you're at in life?
everything would nitpick everything. And I just could never. So it's like when I watch Hannah and Nick, I'm like, ugh, you're gross. See ya.
Well, not for nothing, the story that I told was also about a military man. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
hmm,
Mm-hmm. Case and point.
avoid. Okay, well, love that journey for us so
Love that we have
much.
these bad men out of our lives. And we will be on to funnier, much funnier stories in the
Yes,
future.
because those negative ones do not deserve. I mean, they didn't even deserve that, but they definitely don't deserve like a full episode.
No.
Yeah. So we will be ending, as always, with some positivity, and hopefully you know will avoid the negative dating scene as well. But
If
let
there
us,
is a red flag, get the fuck out because they're
yes,
only going to be more.
yes, even if it's like a pink flag, just avoid.
Mhm.
But let us know in our comments on today's post what couple you feel like you relate to from this season, and let us know why. Or maybe don't let us know why and let us guess why, because that could be entertaining too. So what is something you are working on this week?
I am working on helping Kelly relieve some stress from herself and her own appointed duties. I am going to try to help her out. And that is something that I am working on is helping her just be able to be her.
Yes. And with that, I am working on delegating, which sounds very like
Mm-mm.
boss like, which is
No.
not what it is, but I'm working on letting go. And that's something we talked about at our little coffee date this week, things that I don't have to have on my plate that I just put upon myself. And
Mhm.
so, yes, I am working on that. And that is also leads into the next thing, something I'm looking forward to is having less tasks to do this week. That is definitely something I'm looking forward to. And it's good timing because my dad's in town. So I'm looking forward to spending time with him and just not having as many things to do this week. What is something you're looking forward to this week?
I am looking forward to Lakers. Laker season starts tomorrow. Here we go. I would really like to start the season off strong. It would be so wonderful. I'm going to be hopeful. Got some new young talent, not Bronny, but other other actual good talent. And I am just so excited. So me and my friends are going to watch it tomorrow. So glad NBA is back. Like what a long break it felt like, even though there was summer league and it's only been like 2 months, but it's felt like forever. So yeah, that is what I'm looking forward to. NBA being back on my TV.
Nice. And what is something that made you feel like an adult?
Something that made me feel like an adult, honestly, was our meeting. Like Kelly and I communicate so well with one another. Not because we say the same thing, but because not because we're able to decipher what the other is saying, but because like we really do not hold anything back respectfully. Very, very, very respectfully. And we really are on the same page about things. And I was telling Kelly the other day, I'm like, listen, I know that you just have to sit with things for a second. And I know that you always come back and it's always what we have planned, but you just need your time. So I know that and I don't so that's why I'm always like, okay, whatever. Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
that sounds good. Cause I know she'll be back.
Mhm.
And so I would like we really did like also like strategize and game plan and make goals. And so that like always just like makes me feel like an adult because I'm like, okay, we're looking at the bigger picture constantly.
Mhm.
And I would say, sorry, really quickly, making me feel like an adult was doing that interview for breast cancer with Taylor and Jess. Like, it was so incredible. And if you guys haven't listened yet, you need to go listen. And please remember that we are still having our fundraiser going on for the rest of the month of October. But yeah, like talking about real life things like that made me feel like an adult.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with both of those points. I think our meeting was great. I think we definitely communicate very well. We have different styles of communication, but they work well together. And I will panic and freak out about things and need to like talk through things and like talk my way to it. But to your point, I always get to it. I just have to get there.
Yeah.
So the fact that you understand that is good. I just have to talk through all the steps and feel like I know all the steps on how we're getting somewhere, and then I feel good about it, and that's great. And you are calm, cool, and collected, and it's amazing. And then like we talked about this morning, like when I'm stressed out or like feeling frazzled and like, oh my God, what plan am I on? Like you're just organized and on top of it. And then when you're having a time when you're like, I'm running late, I don't know how to do this and that and this and that, I'm on top of it. So we just flow nicely, and every week we're getting better. So yeah, I just feel like kind of things coming together with the podcast is feeling adultish. And yeah, so like Kyra said, make sure to go check out the fundraiser. We will be posting a special giveaway this week. That's going to be posted tomorrow, Wednesday, on our Instagram. So tomorrow, meaning because this episode's going to come out Tuesday. So Wednesday on the Instagram, we are going to have a giveaway. There's going to be 2 winners. So make sure you go check that out.
They're really good.
What?
It's a really good giveaway.
Yes. So all of our details, as always, are in the description below. So that is all for this week. We hope you laughed with us and you learned something. Make sure you follow us, subscribe, rate, review, leave a comment, share with a friend, all that kind of fun stuff. And we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.